Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how you can start selling digital products on Etsy. In this video, I will show you how to brainstorm ideas, research them, create the digital product, and create the listing, with a few little secrets sprinkled in. Digital products are very versatile and they can be sold on many different sites. They also have the potential to continue earning even after you've moved on to other products. So what is a digital product? A digital product is something that you can sell online and use online without ever having to touch it. Some examples that you might have seen are online courses, printable planners, stock photos or videos, digital art, maybe collections, software, music files, video content, intros and promos, website templates, digital marketing tools. I've even seen software tools for Adobe Photoshop like the brushes. There's definitely room for you to add creativity and your unique spin. To brainstorm a digital product idea, think about what skills or hobbies that you might have that others might benefit from. Then think about how you can turn that into an online tool or a resource. Think about what hobbies or expertise you might have that you get a ton of questions about, and then think about how you can translate that into a guide, a course, or a tool. Remember, you're trying to offer something that has value. For a hairstylist, think about an ebook that you can create that shows you how to do the latest hairstyles at home. For a mechanic, think about an ebook that gives you basic car maintenance for millennials. For a plumber, a series of instructional videos on fixing common household plumbing issues. Or for a busy parent that is skilled in organizing, a printable family planner could be a big hit. A coffee enthusiast, a digital book on brewing the perfect cup of coffee at home. After brainstorming, it's research time. So pick one of these ideas and follow me to do some research. For this particular video, I'm going to be using a knitting tutorial journal for our example. And before we dive in, hit the like button and I'll give you 50 digital product ideas as soon as we hit 100. So let's dive in. The first place that we're going to go is to Etsy listings, and that's where we're going to look for bestsellers because that is how we spot trends. So we start by typing in the keywords that we have identified for our product. So in this case, mine is going to be the knitting tutorial journal. And at this point, actually, before we start looking at any of the listings, I want to point out that over here you'll see an 800 number, and this means that the market isn't super saturated. And that could either be because there's not a lot of demand or it hasn't really been tapped into. And then we're going to keep scrolling through to see what products already exist and how the listings look. So later on, we can use this to make ours a little different and hopefully stand out. This little part here, AD, under the listing identifies that this product is running an ad. So you know that they have to run an ad in order to get sales. So that is a little bit of a red flag, and make sure you do more research to see if that item is popular only because they're running ads. So keep going, and what I'm looking for here is the number of reviews and the ratings. I'm also looking for listings that might be identified with the bestseller logo right in the corner and to see if there is some more demand there. Then you're going to want to find a listing that you feel is fairly decent based on the number of reviews and sales. You're going to want to pull it up. And the first thing I do when I pull up a shop is I like to click on the number of sales in the shop. This feature isn't always turned on, but when it is, I like to see if this product's selling, and if so, how many times it's selling. This gives you an idea of the market and if it's going to be popular. Then I go back to the listing, scroll through to look at each of the images to see how they formatted it and to give me some inspiration for the inside of my digital product. Some other places to go to spot trends are subforums like Facebook groups and Reddit, social media, Google Trends, and Google Keywords. Also, there's software out there that you can use to try to identify trends such as eRank. For eRank, you go to erank.com. You click on keyword research, and then you type in the product name for your digital product. In my case, I'm going to be typing in knitting tutorial journal. And then you can press enter, and it will show you all the keywords that are related to what you just searched. So you can see the Etsy competition, the search trends, and you'll get ideas for other keywords that you may want to search. So here I see planner, knitting planner. So I'm going to type in knitting planner to see what keywords are being searched, and if the demand looks like knitting planner, it doesn't have a ton of average searches. It's less than 20, so not a ton of demand for this keyword, but still some. When you're doing your research, you want to make sure there's real demand, because you want to find the demand, you don't want to create it. This research also helps you look at the competition, the market saturation, and how to make your product stand out from all of them. Next up is designing your product, and Canva is my go-to tool for doing this. It is a wonderful tool with a ton of resources, and it's great for even beginners. I would start by looking at the templates, because 9 times out of 10, there's a template that can be customized to create anything. And for this video, I'm going to be looking for something that can be transformed into a knitting tutorial journal. Then spend some time customizing your template, adding images, tweaking colors and fonts to match your product audience. Then you go into Canva, you scroll down, and you're looking for a planner. I like to use either template or planners to do my search, because it gives you a variety of different planners or journals and different templates that are already out there. I like to look at the ones with multiple pages because there's options for customizations there. And this journal looks kind of interesting. It doesn't have the little crown in the corner, which means it's not premium content, and that means that anyone can use it for free. So I think I'm going to look and see what other options there are before we decide. And yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and use that one. It's pretty standard, straightforward, minimalist, easy to customize. When you're in Canva, one of the best features is utilizing the elements. This really helps you customize the planner, journal, or digital product for your niche audience or niche product. So I'm going to look here just to see and make sure I'm not choosing the first thing that I see, because that might get chosen quite frequently. And I'm going to see if there's something unique. Oh, here, I like the little shield knitting pattern. And I think I'm going to change the color. I'm not sure my demographic would like green, even though I like green. Then I'm going to do a little bit of formatting, making things pop a little bit more, making sure all the wording matches, and just moving some things around and testing out where it looks best. That looks pretty good. I'm not going to do the full real journal because that would take way too much time and you would be so bored, but I'm going to make sure that I give you a full scope of what this looks like to design. I like to add background patterns. I feel like it gives the cover a little texture and makes the words pop a little bit more, and it makes the elements that are on the front look a little bit better. So I'll just look at different patterns. I really like a distressed overlay, so I'll try to find one here. And this one looks textured enough and large enough, and I'll just change the color. Let's see if we can find one that I like, and I'll just make sure I put it all behind all of the lettering. So let's focus on other pages. So let's focus on the interior, and I like to add different elements again to make sure that I'm focusing on my niche audience, and I like to add little things like little knitting balls, and I like to sprinkle them throughout the interior pages to make sure that when you're looking through, it reminds you of knitting and journaling. So I'm going to keep going on this section, and I like my line sections for journals or diaries or note-taking. This one I'm going to put our element in here and line it up and change the note section to journal section and adjust it so that my element's not in front of it, and oops, and that looks good. And from there I'll just go down to the grid section to see if there's any other pages that I want to repurpose. I don't know if I can really use that one. I want a page that gives the tutorial type feel, so that has to have different sections, paragraph, writing, some images where you can put some patterns in there. And there, what is that? That's a newsletter. That might be something I want to use. Also, a good tip is if you click on one of the images, it will give you other options that look very similar, and you can choose through those. And you can choose some of those. Let's look and see something a little bit more homemade feel, nothing too fancy, but something that has a really nice, clean sections that pop. This one looks perfect. Meet the teacher. I love it. And take out the teacher element here and find your own graphic element. Relate it to our niche of knitting and just fill out this section. I want to add a little yarn here as well, and little element, little graphic. Again, relating it to our niche, and just fill out this section. I want some little pop factor. I want to put the pattern here. I think this is where, I don't know a lot about knitting, to be honest. I'm not a knitter, but I think this would be cool if they can look at one section and see what pattern is going to be produced from knitting, and to have some things where I can see the kind of knit and pattern and a little write-up about how to get this, and move the pattern in there. And continue making customizations, changing things around to make it look more suitable for knitting and tutorials. The journal titles, changing each of the sections, looking at the grid again and moving things around. Here I'm going to duplicate these 2 pages because it's going to be the bulk. It's going to be the bulk part of my planner. The notebook journal, and making sure it looks good. I'm keeping the calendar in there because I feel like it's useful for everyone, and I like having goals. And there you go. All of the pages, and then you go to File, Download, change it to standard PDF, and then Done, and then Download. And then once you have the completed file, you'll take that over to post it on your listing. You can also use Canva for creating your logo, product mock-ups, and your shop banner. But another place to go is Place It for more mock-ups. Offers a little bit more variety. After you have everything downloaded, it's time to start creating your listing. For your listing, you're going to want to create a catchy title and description. Feel free to use Google Gemini and ChatGPT to help you come up with some ideas. For Google AI, which is Gemini, or ChatGPT, I just like to type in, give me a title for knitting journal, and give me a description as well. I always make sure I ask it for SEO or search engine optimization. I always put in any kind of other requirements that I want to incorporate that will help my listing stand out. And that way, if there's any keywords, it will pull them out. And then I will take all of this information to plug in to my listing. I like to look it over. I'll ask it multiple options, and I like to see what's out there. And I really like to have something catchy and cute and fun, if that's your demographic. The next thing to do is optional, but it's something that could be helpful down the road, is deciding if this digital product is going to be part of your brand, like a knitter blog, or part of a physical product website like Shopify, or if you're going to use it as a collection of other digital products like Etsy or Gumroad. For this video, we're going to be using Etsy to sell our digital product. SEO is your best friend here. I make sure I use high volume keywords in my tags, my title, and my description. One tool I use to help get these is the Keyword Planner. So to find the Google Keyword Planner, type in Google Keywords, and then go to the Google Keyword Planner and type in related words or phrases that can identify high search volume. Make sure you use the ones with the highest volume in your description. So go to your Etsy shop, then to listings, then select add a listing and choose digital product, and proceed with filling out the whole listing and all of the information, attaching the files. And then you're going to want to price it appropriately based on your research and click publish. A tip for tags is to look at something similar that is selling in your niche and use their tags since they already get sales. And before you leave Etsy, I would make sure you have a shop banner, have a logo, and an About You section. These are areas that can really help you stand apart. And last, but certainly not least, is marketing. Love it or hate it, but TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest are your best source for free product marketing. Leverage social media by setting up a dedicated page just for your digital download products. Digital downloads can be a great source for extra money and passive income. Starting is the hardest part. Subscribe for more side hustle business starting tutorials. And if you have any questions, put it in the comments down below. Remember to hit the like button to unlock the 50 free digital download ideas. Thanks for watching.